Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of US 5-cent coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving deep into the world of American numismatics to explore one of the most fascinating and sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1964 United States 5-cent coin, often called the 1964 nickel. If you think all nickels are created equal, think again. This coin hides some incredible stories and surprises beneath its surface, making it a must-have for serious collectors. Let's start with some background. The 1964 nickel was minted during a time of great change in America. It was the last year before the Coinage Act of 1965, which eliminated silver from nickels and dimes. But this 1964 nickel is unique. It's made of the classic 75% copper and 25% nickel composition, which was standard before the big changes. However, what truly makes this coin extraordinary isn't just the metal content, but the rare errors and unique varieties that have turned some of these nickels into some of the most valuable coins on the planet. Now, listen closely, because what I'm about to share might just blow your mind. While millions of 1964 nickels were minted, a tiny fraction carry mistakes so rare that collectors worldwide are willing to pay huge sums to own one. One of the most famous of these errors is the so-called 1964 double-die nickel. This error occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice slightly offset, causing the letters or numbers to appear doubled. This doubling effect isn't just a minor glitch, it's a collector's dream, because it's incredibly rare and striking to look at. But that's not all. There's also the infamous 1964 silver war nickel error. Here's where it gets really fascinating. Although the 1964 nickels should not contain any silver, a very small number accidentally contained silver because some planchets, the metal blanks used to strike coins, were mistakenly mixed with silver planchets from earlier war nickels from 1942 to 1945. These rare silver-containing nickels are extremely scarce and highly prized because they defy the standard rules of the coin series. Collectors prize these error coins for their uniqueness and the story they tell about minting processes from decades ago. And when you add in coins with perfect, uncirculated condition, flawless surfaces, sharp details, and no signs of wear, you have a recipe for something truly valuable. What kind of value are we talking about? You might be wondering, is it really worth that much? Well, here's the astonishing truth. A perfect, error-free 1964 nickel is common and worth just a few cents to a few dollars. But if you manage to find a 1964 double-die error or a rare silver war nickel in pristine condition, your coin could fetch an incredible price. In fact, these rare coins have been known to sell at auctions for prices reaching as high as $82,000 in English words. Yes, you heard that right. $82,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Imagine that. A tiny nickel, something we often toss in jars or find forgotten in pockets, suddenly becoming a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's this kind of unexpected value that makes coin collecting so thrilling and rewarding. If you happen to have a 1964 nickel in your collection or stumble upon one in circulation, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of doubling in the lettering or unusual metal content. You never know, you might just have a rare gem that could change your life. Top 2, we're diving into the story of a small but mighty coin that could be sitting unnoticed in someone's old change jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer. It's a coin that, at first glance, looks ordinary, common even. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find a hidden treasure. We're talking about the United States 5-cent coin from the year 1972. That's right, the classic nickel that's turning heads and catching the eyes of collectors around the world. This coin is not just another pocket change relic. It's a piece of American history. The 1972 nickel might seem like just another coin minted in the millions, but there's more than meets the eye. Some of these coins have rare features and minting errors that make them extremely valuable. And if you're lucky enough to have the right one, you could be sitting on a coin worth more than the average car, or even more than a down payment on a house. Let's talk about what makes this coin so fascinating. First, let's travel back to 1972. The United States was in the middle of some major cultural and political shifts. The Vietnam War was ongoing. The Apollo missions had recently brought space travel into everyday conversation, and Richard Nixon was in the White House. It was a time of transformation, tension, and change, and like many years before and after, the U.S. Mint was busy producing billions of coins to fuel the country's booming economy. The 5-cent coin from that year features the familiar face of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, or front side. This design, originally created by sculptor Felix Schlag in 1938, has become iconic. On the reverse, we see Jefferson's beloved Monticello estate, a structure that has graced the back of the nickel for generations. But what sets the 1972 nickel apart from its countless cousins minted in other years? The answer lies in something collectors absolutely love: errors. Now, mint errors might sound like mistakes, but in the world of coin collecting, they're often seen as rare jewels, accidental masterpieces created by the chaotic dance of machines and metal. And the 1972 nickel has some truly fascinating errors that can transform an ordinary 5-cent coin into a high-value collectible point. One of the most sought-after errors on this coin is the double die. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment, causing a visible duplication of design elements, like the date, the letters, or parts of Jefferson's face. If you spot doubling on the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," hold on tight. That's a strong sign you've found something special. Another key feature collectors look for is a full steps designation on the Monticello building on the reverse side. You see, Monticello has a staircase that should appear clearly defined and undamaged for a coin to receive this grading. A 1972 nickel with full steps is rare, especially in uncirculated condition. Combine full steps with a double die error? Now you're in premium territory, but the surprises don't stop there. Some coins from 1972 were struck slightly off-center, or even on the wrong planchet. A planchet being the blank piece of metal a coin is made from. When this happens, you get what's known as an off-metal strike. Imagine a nickel struck on a penny's copper planchet. It looks strange, feels different, and is incredibly rare. These types of errors are favorites among serious collectors. Now, you might be wondering, why would someone pay thousands, or even tens of thousands, for an old 5-cent coin? Well, in the coin world, it all comes down to condition, rarity, and demand. A rare error coin that is also in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear and tear, is a dream find. Add historical intrigue, artistic appeal, and the fact that these coins are disappearing from circulation every year, and you've got a recipe for a highly desirable collectible. There's something almost magical about discovering a coin like this. It makes you feel like a modern-day treasure hunter. That's why so many collectors keep searching, scanning, and researching, because the next incredible find could be sitting right in their pocket. Oh, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. Just how much could a rare 1972 United States 5-cent coin be worth? Well, hold on to your hats. A 1972 nickel in perfect uncirculated condition, featuring a rare double die error and full steps designation, has been known to sell for an astonishing $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was once worth just 5 cents could now be worth $78,000. That's enough to buy a luxury vehicle, travel the world, or invest in your dream home. All from a single, well-preserved, and uniquely flawed piece of American history. Top 3 were shining the spotlight on a coin that's often overlooked, yet hiding in plain sight. The 1975 United States 5-cent coin. That's right, the nickel. It's small, it's simple, it's everywhere, or so it seems. But the truth is, not every 1975 nickel is the same. Some of them, very few of them, are incredibly rare, and even fewer are worth serious money. So grab a seat, coin lovers, because this story just might send you racing to your coin collection. Let's start with the basics. The 1975 nickel features the classic image of Thomas Jefferson on the front, as it has since 1938. It's a familiar face, with the word "Liberty" and the year 1975 inscribed to the right, along with the national motto, "In God We Trust," on the left. On the reverse side, you'll find Jefferson's historic home, Monticello, an elegant neoclassical building that represents not only the man himself, but the architectural ideals of early America. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. In 1975, the The U.S. Mint produced millions of nickels. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but when you look at how many of those coins have survived in top condition, the number shrinks dramatically. And once you start filtering for rare characteristics and mint errors, you're left with a tiny handful of coins that collectors are willing to pay big bucks for. So, what kinds of things make a 1975 nickel special? Let's talk about error coins. These are mistakes made during the minting process that somehow escape quality control and get released into circulation. While errors are, by definition, accidents, they're also exciting discoveries for collectors. They're like hidden secrets in plain sight. And some of the 1975 nickels have those secrets. One of the most desirable errors is the double die. That's when a coin is struck twice by the die, but not in exactly the same position, creating a slight overlapping effect. You might notice it in the date, the lettering, or even Jefferson's profile. If you see any sort of doubling, especially on the word Liberty or the date, 1975, you could be holding something incredibly rare. Another feature to look for is the full steps designation. This refers to the staircase on Monticello. It might seem like a small detail, but if you can clearly see 5 or 6 full, uninterrupted steps, that's a sign of a sharp strike and a well-preserved coin. Most nickels have some wear in this area, so finding a 1975 coin with full steps is rare and highly prized. But we're not done yet. There are also off-center strikes, where the image appears skewed or incomplete, and even wrong planchet errors, where a nickel is accidentally struck on the wrong type of metal blank. Imagine a 5-cent coin printed on a penny's copper base. Now that's the kind of mistake that makes headlines in the coin world. And here's what collectors love about these rare 1975 nickels. They're not just oddities, they're a piece of minting history. Each error tells a story about how the coin was made, how it slipped through inspection, and how it managed to survive all these years without being pulled from circulation. That mystery, that chance, that connection to a specific moment in time, that's what makes collecting so exciting. Plus, let's be honest, who wouldn't want to find out that a tiny, forgotten coin from the 1970s is actually a small fortune? It's not just about value. It's about the thrill of discovery. It's about holding history in your hand. That's why collectors search through rolls of coins, attend auctions, study mint marks, and die varieties. They're not just looking for nickels. They're looking for stories. They're looking for that one-in-a-million piece that turns heads and starts conversations. And sometimes, they find it. Now for the moment you've been waiting for, the value. So just how much could one of these rare 1975 5-cent coins be worth if it has the right combination of mint condition, error variety, and collector demand? Are you ready? A rare 1975 Jefferson nickel with a dramatic mint error, sharp details, and full steps, graded and certified in top condition, has been known to sell for as much as $76,000. Yes, you heard that right, $76,000. All from a 5-cent coin that someone might have once tossed in a vending machine. Without thinking twice, so before you drop that nickel into your next parking meter, give it a good look. Flip it over. Check the date. Look closely for anything unusual, because the next great discovery might be in your hands right now, just waiting for someone curious enough to take a second look. Top 4. We're about to open the vault on a small coin with a big story, the 1987 United States 5-cent piece. At first glance, it's just a nickel. But look again, and you might find that this everyday coin holds secrets and maybe even a small fortune. Now, before you rush off to empty your change jar, stick with me. Because this story isn't just about pocket change, it's about a rare and exciting discovery that could turn your humble nickel into a collector's dream. Let's begin with the basics. The 1987 nickel carries the classic design we've all come to know, Thomas Jefferson on the front, with his stately Monticello home on the back. It's a simple, elegant design that's graced the 5-cent piece since 1938. Millions were made in 1987 at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. So why is this coin getting attention? Why is this particular year catching the eyes of coin collectors everywhere? Here's where it gets exciting: errors and condition. While the majority of 1987 nickels are perfectly ordinary, a very small number were struck with minting mistakes. Those rare and beautiful accidents that make a coin truly special. Let's talk about one of the most popular types of errors, the double die. Imagine the coin being struck not once, but twice, with a slight shift between strikes. The result? Letters and numbers appear to have shadows or doubling, particularly in areas like the word Liberty, the date 1987, or even Jefferson's eye. It's subtle, but to a trained eye, and especially to a collector, it's the difference between 5 cents and thousands of dollars. Then there's another detail that makes this coin a hot target for collectors: the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, beneath Monticello's columns, you'll see a staircase. If you can count 5 or 6 clear, uninterrupted steps, without any wear or breakage, that's what collectors call full steps. Very few nickels from 1987 have full steps, especially after decades of circulation. So when one appears in pristine, untouched condition, it's a rare gem. But we're not done yet. Some 1987 nickels were struck off-center, with part of the design missing entirely, pushed to the edge of the coin. Others were mistakenly struck on wrong planchets, like copper blanks intended for pennies or clad blanks used for dimes. These wrong metal nickels are extremely rare, and they're exactly the kind of thing that makes collectors open their wallets wide. Let's take a moment to think about how these coins survived. Picture this: a small handful of flawed coins slipping past the mint's inspection, entering circulation quietly, unnoticed for years. Maybe one sat in a jar on a dresser for decades. Maybe it passed through thousands of hands, each person unaware of its true value. And maybe, just maybe, it ended up in yours. Collectors aren't just buying coins, they're buying a slice of American history. Every error tells a story. Every perfect detail reflects a moment frozen in time. That's why this coin, despite its humble appearance, commands so much respect in the numismatic world. So now we arrive at the moment you've been waiting for: the value. What could a small, ordinary-looking coin from 1987 possibly be worth? Well, if your 1987 5-cent coin is in mint state condition, features a rare minting error like a double die or off-metal strike, and has those highly sought-after full steps, then you're not just holding on to 5 cents. That coin could be worth an incredible $74,000. Yes, you heard me right, $74,000. So the next time you come across a 1987 nickel, don't overlook it. Examine it. Study the details. Look for errors. Because while most nickels buy you almost nothing these days, the right one might just change your life. Top 5. We're about to talk about a 5-cent coin that might seem ordinary at first, but trust me, by the time you finish this video, you'll be checking your change like never before. Let's turn the spotlight on the 1990 United States 5-cent coin. The humble nickel. Now, before you say, it's just a regular coin, think again. This particular year has become the subject of fascination among collectors, and not because it's flashy or rare on the surface. It's because something unusual happened at the mint during this year, and a few lucky or unlucky mistakes made it into circulation. And those tiny mistakes? They're worth serious money today. Let's start with the design. On the front of the 1990 nickel, you'll find the dignified face of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. His profile has been on the nickel since 1938, and by 1990, it had become a symbol of American coinage. On the reverse side sits Monticello, his stately Virginia home, standing tall in elegant neoclassical style. At a glance, everything seems perfectly normal, but let's dig deeper. In 1990, millions of these coins were produced in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most of them are still floating around today, worn, tarnished, tossed into coin jars or change drawers. But there's a small number, just a handful, that are different. These are the ones that collectors lose sleep over. One of the biggest factors that makes a 1990 nickel rare is minting errors. These are not damage from being dropped or scratched, they're actual mistakes that happened during production at the mint. And they're far more valuable than you'd ever imagine. One error to watch for is called a double die. This occurs when the coin's image is stamped twice, very slightly off from the first strike. The result? You'll see a doubling effect in places like the date 1990, the word Liberty, or even in Jefferson's eye. It might look like a shadow, but it's no illusion. It's a sign of a true collector's treasure. Then, there's the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process. Part of the design might be missing, or it might look oddly shifted to one side. Depending on how severe the misalignment is, an off-center error can multiply a coin's value dramatically. But one of the most desirable features is something called the full steps designation. Take a close look at Monticello. Beneath the building are steps, tiny, horizontal lines. Most circulated nickels show these steps worn down or completely smooth. But if you can find a 1990 nickel where every single step is clearly visible and unbroken, you've found a coin that's been beautifully preserved. Full steps coins are rare, and collectors absolutely love them. Now, let's talk about the wrong planchet errors, one of the most exciting discoveries in numismatics. Sometimes, a nickel is mistakenly struck on a blank intended for a different coin, like a penny or even a foreign denomination. These coins are usually lighter, thinner, or a different color altogether. They're extremely rare, and if you're lucky enough to spot one, you're holding something that could be truly one of a kind. But here's the twist. None of these errors were intentional. They weren't part of a special edition or promotional release. They were accidents, tiny glitches in the system that slipped past inspection. And that's what makes them so special. They weren't supposed to exist, and yet, they do. Imagine finding one of these rare pieces in your pocket change. It's happened before. People have unknowingly spent these valuable coins, only for them to be discovered years later by an eagle-eyed collector or a curious coin dealer. That's the magic of numismatics. It's part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part miracle. And let's not forget, condition is everything. A coin with a rare error might be worth a decent amount, but if it's in near-perfect, uncirculated condition with no scratches, wear, or dulling of the details, the value skyrockets. That's why collectors take preservation so seriously, because just one pristine coin can be a game-changer. So, if you're sitting on a 1990 nickel right now, it's time to take a closer look. Pull out your magnifying glass, check the date, inspect the details. Because the ordinary might just be extraordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to have a 1990 United States 5-cent coin with a rare mint error, like a dramatic double die, off-metal strike, or full steps in perfect condition, you could be in for the surprise of your life. That one little nickel might just be worth $72,000. Yes, you heard that right. $72,000 for a coin most people wouldn't even glance at twice. So what are you waiting for? Go check your coin jars, your drawers, your old collections. You never know what treasure might be hiding right under your nose. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss a chance to discover hidden coin treasures with us. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and happy collecting.